Speaker Mike Johnson looked stunned as he was getting called out by a military wife from Virginia about the government shutdown.
I have 2 medically fragile children. I have a husband who actively serves this country. If we see a lapse in pay come the 15th, my children do not get to get the medication that's needed, and I'm very disappointed in you.
Johnson graced C-SPAN with his presence last night in a clear sign that Republicans are desperately trying to control the shutdown narrative, and the callers did not hold back.
As you sit here and lie about this.
Yeah, well, not lying. I'm telling you the truth.
He is definitely lying. His appearance was a straight 30 minutes of lying. Let's get into it. Callers like Samantha were understandably pissed. And look, I get it. He pissed me off right off the bat, not even 30 seconds into it.
You have been on this program before, but never as speaker. Why come on C-SPAN now?
Well, this is a great forum, and you get to talk to real Americans.
All Americans are real. None of us are more real than anyone else. And as soon as I heard him say that, I realized he's just going to make me progressively angrier as this thing goes along. And that's exactly what he did. Let's get back to Samantha, the military wife from Virginia, and Johnson's lackluster response.
That there needs to be legislation put in so that we do not miss a paycheck. You have the power to do that. And as a Republican, I'm very disappointed in my party, and I'm very disappointed in you because you do have the power to call the House back. You did that, or you refused to do that just for a show. I am begging you to pass this legislation. My kids could die, and I think that it is awful, and the audacity of someone who makes 6 figures a year to do this to military families is insane.
I want you to hear something very clearly. The Republicans are the ones delivering for you. We had a vote to pay the troops. Chuck Schumer and the Democrats are preventing your family from getting the care they need, not Republicans, and my heart goes out to you.
Samantha was upset, and predictably, Mike Johnson blamed the Democrats. Quite a cop-out for the leader of the Republican Party, the party who has the majority in the House, the Senate, and in the White House. If he was honest, his response would have been, I know, Samantha, I'm sorry, my party's a fucking mess, we cannot get our shit together. But instead, he spent his entire time on the show repeating lies and buzzwords.
Look at the Congressional Budget Office, who said that we had at least 1.4 million illegal aliens draining the resources from Medicaid. They opened the border wide and let 20 million illegal aliens, by some estimates, come into the country, and they got many of them on these programs that are funded by taxpayers. It's wrong, and Chuck Schumer's terrified by that because he has to be reelected to the Senate again, and he wants to give $200 billion back for health care for illegal aliens and non-citizens.
That is the MAGA script on this shutdown just playing on repeat, and it is chocked full of lies. Mike Johnson first started talking about the 1.4 million illegal immigrants receiving health insurance back in June. And when he first started saying it in June, everybody came out and easily proved that he was lying. He referenced a report from the Congressional Budget Office, which is interesting. Like, does he think we're not going to go look at the report? Because he directly contradicts what the report says from the CBO. The CBO, when talking about the big bucket of bullshit bill that he and Trump put together, talks about 10 million people, an estimated 10 million people losing their health coverage if the bill advances. Of that 10 million, 1.4 million of them are immigrants with legal status. It's written in black and white. The other whopper of a lie he keeps regurgitating that also appeared in a White House press release is that Democrats want to give $200 billion of hardworking Americans' money to illegal immigrants. That also is not even close to being true. According to the Democrats' proposal, they want to repeal the $1 trillion worth of cuts that Republicans made to the Affordable Care Act, ACA, or Obamacare, and Medicaid. Nothing about those cuts changes anything about the fact that it's already illegal for people without legal status to enroll in federal programs like Medicaid, Medicare, or the ACA. Democrats are fighting to extend the ACA tax credits that are set to expire at the end of the year. Tax credits that make health insurance a little less out of reach for millions of Americans Americans, for the elderly, children, the disabled, and low-income Americans, people that honestly Johnson, Trump, and MAGA don't give a shit about. But they can't say that. So they're just going to keep lying. They're just going to keep repeating proven falsehoods about immigrants and brown people. Oh, and speaking of lying about brown people,
Marxism is on the rise in New York. The candidate for mayor there is probably going to be elected, Mamdani, who is a self-described socialist, a Marxist. What if the socialists take over the Senate and Democrat socialists are in charge and they want to grow government and take over the means of production?
He's hitting all of the buzzwords, isn't he? Now, I'm not going to get into a whole political philosophy thing here, but don't tempt me. I would happily spend hours talking about all of the isms. But in a nutshell, Marxism is just a word that Republicans think is scary, so they repeat it over and over again, even though it is not applicable to U.S. politics. Marxism is a political philosophy. It is just a theory. It is anti-capitalism, and it talks about the relationship between the economy, the government, and the people. Marxism is not a form of government, but pieces of Marxism have been incorporated into some current communist governments around the world. But duh, the U.S. is not one of them. All that said, New York City mayoral candidate Zoran Mamdani is not even close to a communist. He is advocating for some principles of socialism, principles that would arguably improve people's quality of life, like government support for basic necessities like food, housing, healthcare, and employment. It is beyond hypocritical for Johnson to speak so dismissively and fearmonger about socialism when he actively benefits from socialism, from the redistribution of wealth. It's how he receives a salary and healthcare. And speaking of hypocrisy, take it away, Mike.
Obamacare did not do what was promised. Everybody can acknowledge that. Premiums are up 60% since it became law in 2010. And you have less access to care.
You slashed the tires, Mike. Don't complain that you can't drive the car. That's literally what Republicans did to the ACA. They gutted it. They weakened it so substantially that the law could no longer do what it was designed to do. And there have been several studies that have come out in recent years about the effect the ACA had on the increase of healthcare costs. When compared to the previous 10 years, for the period the ACA was in full effect, 2009 to 2018, the rate at which healthcare costs increased slowed down substantially, going from around a 5% increase per year to a 3% increase per year. And who knows what would have happened to healthcare costs if the ACA was left fully intact. But Republicans were never going to do that. They always wanted to eliminate Obamacare.
We want to take a blowtorch to the regulatory state. Okay. Trump's going to go big.
No Obamacare?
No Obamacare.
Watching that clip, I was thinking about Samantha, the military wife from Virginia, and I'm torn. Because on the one hand, I kind of want to be proud of her that she unleashed on Speaker Johnson, but on the other hand, I kind of want to be mad at her because she fucked around in the last election, and now all of us are finding out. The number of my fellow white women who continue to vote against their own interests, against the interests of their children, the interests of their community. My goodness, Samantha, how can you have medically fragile children and support the party who doesn't believe that everybody should get health care? We need to keep these clips of Mike Johnson playing on repeat leading up to the 2026 midterm elections. And maybe after the election, he'll still be representative Mike Johnson, but if Dems turn the fuck out, he'll no longer be Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. And rest assured, we are going to keep beating that drum here at Really American, so be sure you subscribe. For Really American Media, I am Corinne Straight. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next time.